Hey guys, for this video, this is a bit of a strange and very unfortunate situation. Let me explain. So today, which is October 22nd, 2019, which is a Tuesday, I filmed a video called TheRockzilla94's Musings, and in brackets, as of October 22nd, 2019. I uploaded that video earlier today, and I just uploaded a brand spanking new video about the Ottawa Senators bringing back their NHL 100 Classic uniforms as their third jerseys for the 2019-2020 season. So as soon as I got that video finally uploaded onto YouTube, which for the record, it took me forever to get that uploaded. I don't know what was going on with my internet tonight, but it was not very good in terms of its signal. But anyways, when I got that video uploaded tonight, I looked and I noticed two videos. One, my other brand new video, which was my musings video as of October 22nd, 2019. And there was a second one that had the same name and it said failed to upload. So what I did was I clicked delete to delete the failed upload, thinking that my phone might have had a glitch or something and uploaded my video automatically a second time. And it ended up deleting both the failed upload and the actual video that got onto YouTube. So because of that, not only do I have to film this video again, but now I have to go back and explain everything again, and I got to film the whole thing again. I got to have my introduction again, and I got to film this video again. So I am a little bit pissed off with that. That's for sure. So now I'm going to have to spend like another 20 minutes here talking to get this video remade, so that I can re-upload it again. So now what I've decided to do is bring out my old cell phone and film this video on my old phone here instead of my iPhone, because this way I think that I will not have the same issue if I use a different phone. At least that's what I'm hoping. But anyways, now that I've spent the first 3 minutes of this re-upload or video redo, which technically was my fault because I thought that my phone, or I thought my YouTube app or YouTube said that it tried to upload the first time, it failed and uploaded it again, which it ended up deleting my actual video too, which is total crap, and I'm pissed off about it. But anyways, let's go back to the introduction that I had from my video when I uploaded it the first time. So this is going to be the first of a 3-video trial run where I'm going to attempt to launch a new weekly segment. Now, initially when I first uploaded this, I called this the Rockzilla94's as of Tuesday, October 22nd, 2019 musings, which is a fancy word for thoughts and reflection. So that's what I'm going to basically title this video again. And by the way, if you've already watched this video, then unfortunately, I hate to say it, but if you watch this video, you're watching that video for a second time, basically. If you are watching this for a second time, I am going to do my best to try to add something new to this at some point, but I'm not going to guarantee that I'm going to be able to pull that off. But anyways, let's reintroduce what I'm going to be doing since I deleted my first upload of this video. So yeah, what I was planning on doing is trying this on a 3-video trial run series where my goal is, now I know that this is being uploaded late because this is not a Sunday, this is Tuesday, and it's probably going to be Wednesday the 23rd when I upload this. But what I'm going to do is over the next 2 upcoming Sundays, and today's going to be the kickoff of this, I'm going to sit down and share some weekly thoughts of mine, and just go off the cuff and just talk about some weekly thoughts of mine after a whole week, and then review the past week and with everything that I've seen or anything that I think could be changed, like some rule changes, or if a certain team needs new uniforms, which I will discuss that in this video as I did the first time I uploaded this. And basically, if you guys overall find, or if I find that this is well received and I see that you guys are enjoying these videos, then I'm gonna try to probably adopt this on a permanent basis. And what I think I'll do is I'll start filming these videos every Sunday. And I think that would actually be a really cool thing, because not only would that give you guys a guaranteed video every week from here on in, even if there's times where I get really busy with my personal life and work, this would also give you guys a set day every week where you can go on YouTube and be guaranteed a video and know that you're getting a video from me every week on Sundays, which I think is a good idea. And I think having some type of consistency like that is something that I've tried to do for an exceptionally long time. And I think trying to create a segment like this would also be very good if there's times where I just can't make videos, which is probably going to be the case right around Christmas time, because I work in retail and Christmas time is absolute hell. That is for sure. So really, we'll see how this goes. I'm going to do this for 3 videos guaranteed. Today, this coming Sunday, and the following Sunday, November 3rd, guaranteed. And then if I find that these videos are well received, then I think I'll likely adopt this full time. If not, I may just scrap the idea. But we'll see how it goes. So, like I did the first time I uploaded this video, I'm going to talk about some NFL rules that I would like to see changed. I'm also going to talk a little bit about uniforms, a little bit between 2 teams that I watched play each other the other day on Sunday as I'm filming this. But let's get to those NFL rules that I'd like to see changed. The first rule that I think certainly needs to be changed is the kickoffs in the NFL. I am getting really sick and tired of every time a kicker does a post-scoring drive kickoff, or a kickoff after a scoring drive, that when they kick that ball after a scoring drive, almost every single time I see a kicker on any team kick the ball just goes past the upright and straight out of bounds every time. What the hell is the point in even having a kickoff? What's the point? If every time the ball gets kicked, it just goes out of bounds, what's the point in having a kickoff? Just let the other team start at the 35-yard line or something. I mean, I think that's where they start if they catch the ball in the end zone and take a knee or something. Or maybe it's the 20-yard line. I can't remember. If I'm incorrect on the 35-yard line, please correct me by all means. But anyways, I'm just getting so sick and tired of that. Why do you have a kickoff when every time the ball is kicked, it just goes straight out of bounds? It's like, why not just let the player start at the 20-yard line and just forget the kickoff then? I mean, personally, I think the kickoff is an important part of football, because that way the other team gets possession and they have to run the ball. Well, that's the way it should be, in my opinion. But unfortunately, in recent years, at least according to one of my coworkers, supposedly the NFL decided to move the spot of the kick up by like 10 or 20 yards or something, where they kick at like the 20-yard line. Why don't they at the bare minimum move the kickoff back 10 yards? I mean, I think they should have to move the kickoff back at least 10 yards. I would honestly say they should almost do it by 15 yards. I mean, this is ridiculous. They should have to keep the kickers far enough back that most of the kickoff kicks end up at the most in the end zone, not just straight out of bounds, where they could still keep going for another bunch of yards if there wasn't stands behind the end of the end zone. You know, I just think it's such a stupid idea that the NFL had to move up the spot of the kickoffs after a scoring drive. It's ridiculous to me. They should put it at least back to where it was before the rule change. I mean, I think that at the most, kickers should be kicking from the 10-yard line, their 10-yard line, for a kickoff. That's it. The other team should actually be able to catch the ball and actually have a play. Now that leads to the next thing I want to talk about in terms of some NFL rules that I'd like to see changed. I also think that if a player receives the ball in the end zone and they can't get out of the end zone, instead of just doing a fair catch and starting from somewhere like the 20-yard line or wherever they start at, I think they should have to run the ball out of the end zone or they should concede a point. That's something that I really, really like about the Canadian Football League, is that on a kickoff or for a punt, if the receiving player cannot get the ball out of the end zone, your team concedes a point. It's called a rouge. That, to me, is a good rule. It forces the players to actually have to run the damn ball, at least out of the end zone. It's ridiculous. And that leads to my next thing. When kickers punt the ball and a player on the opposing team receives it, I don't think that they should be allowing fair catches in the end zone. At least at the end zone. I mean, I believe that, you know what, if the players in the NFL, or if during a play in the NFL, if a kicker kicks the ball and a player receiving it is somewhere past, like, say, the 20-yard line, if they want to call a fair catch, fine. Go for it. But, you know, and the reason I say that is because it's, in some cases, that could be the difference between a player potentially getting injured and a player being fine and dandy. I get that part of it. I think that's a fair thought, pun intended. But, you know, see, in the CFL, or the Canadian Football League, I'm not sure, I can't remember if fair catches are allowed or not. I think how it works is you actually have to run the ball, which I think is the best thing, because then you're actually forcing the player receiving the ball to actually run the ball. And even if the NFL decided to keep fair catches or something, they should at the bare minimum force a player to run out of the ball out of the end zone, or they concede a point. That's the way that I think it should be. Now, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I swear I remember years ago when I was younger seeing NFL games where there were times where players would concede a point, a single point, if they didn't get the ball out of the end zone. Now, if I am incorrect on this, please correct me, because I'm going back a long time when I didn't follow football as much as I do now, and although I'm still not knowledgeable on the rules as much as I honestly would like to be, I know more now than I did before. And the thing is I swear I remember the NFL having some type of rule where you had to get the ball out of the end zone or you conceded a point. If they had the rule before, they need to bring it back. If they've never had the rule, they need to take a page out of the Canadian Football League's playbook, because that, to me, would make the game better. Making the other team actually have to run the ball out of the end zone at the bare minimum would be a game changer. It would make for a more interesting game. And I get tired of seeing players receive the ball in the end zone and just take a knee and get to start from like the 25-yard line or somewhere like that. That to me is just too easy. I mean, in the Canadian Football League, you actually have to, if you want to start at the 25-yard line and you take a knee in the end zone, you're conceding a point. It's called a rouge. That is something that I think should be brought into the NFL. I mean, to me, I just think it's stupid how a player can receive a ball in an end zone and they don't even have to run it out. And on top of that, the kickoffs where almost every kick just goes straight into the end zone and out of bounds from the back end line, from where a kick would go out of bounds on a field goal. That's what I mean if I'm not being specific enough. It's got to end. They've got to put the spot of a kickoff further back because too many kicks are just going straight out of bounds to the point where, as I said earlier, why do we even have a kickoff? What the frickin' hell is the point in that? It's super stupid. Every time the kickers kick, the ball just goes out of bounds. Every time. What the hell is the point in that? I think it's stupid. And in terms of punts, I mean, the fair catch thing, I honestly prefer the CFL's way of doing things with a punt return because you actually have to run the ball from what I remember. Or from what I know. I mean, in the NFL, you can just say, you could be at like the 10-yard line, have nobody near you and say, oh, fair catch, fair catch. No, I think you should have to run the ball. I mean, in terms of some cases where a guy's about to get slammed by 3 or 4 different guys, the fair catch thing on the flip side is sometimes a good thing and potentially an injury saver. But you know what? I don't know what I would do in the fair catch situation in the NFL. I know for damn sure that I would force the players to run out of the end zone or they'd have to concede a point. The other thing is I think maybe there should be a certain range where you have to run the ball, and maybe if it's a little bit past that range, then you can just do a fair catch. Maybe something like that would be a good thing. I don't know, but at the bare minimum, even if the fair catch is allowed outside of the end zone, it should be a situation where you have to run the ball if you get the ball in the end zone or you concede a point. I think that's a fair rule. That's something that I like about the Canadian Football League. And it's things like this that now I see where some older people, older CFL fans that I talk to now and then say about when it comes to why they like and find that the CFL has a better game than the NFL. Now, I like both equally for most things. And also, I want to make it clear that I agree with everybody that the NFL has the greatest players in the world. That's why they're in the NFL. That is true. That is fact. But in terms of the rules and the game, I'm starting to find that in a lot of ways I do prefer the Canadian Football League's rules. I mean, I just find that there's certain things that are better. Like, for example, you actually have to receive a ball and run it out of the end zone or you concede a point. I know for the longest time the Canadian Football League has allowed challenges for defensive pass interference, which I believe is only coming into the NFL as of this season, if I'm not mistaken. And I think the reason it is in now for sure is because of the joke situation that happened during the NFC Championship game last season when the Rams won, when they had a total blatant defensive pass interference on one of the Saints players. And the refs didn't see it. And the Saints couldn't challenge it. I thought that was BS. And, I'm not saying that to take away from the Rams being a really good team last season, but still, I mean, that cost the Saints last season, and that was not fair. That was ridiculous. This I didn't mention the first time I filmed this video, but that NFC game has bothered me, and I'm not even a Saints fan. I'm not even a Rams fan. But I will say this, that game certainly has bothered me as an NFL fan ever since. And I'm glad that now there's challenges for defensive pass interference. But honestly, that Saints-Rams NFC Championship game situation last season should have never happened, as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, I mean, with rule changes, with the way the kickoffs and the punts work in the NFL, those are big for me. Those are things that I think should be changed, especially the kickoff. That's the biggest problem with kicking rules in the NFL right now. The other thing that I ranted about in my last video, and I ranted about it, but I also talked about why I think it should be changed, is how much time is on the play clock in the NFL. In the Canadian Football League, I believe it's only like 20 to 25 seconds. In the National Football League, you get a 40-second play clock, a runoff clock. You have 40 seconds between every play. And you know why I don't like that? Let me explain. So this past Sunday, I was watching the Baltimore Ravens Seahawks game. And this is not to take away from the Ravens' victory either. But when the Ravens won that game, you know what I noticed? When they were in the lead during the fourth quarter, they would just keep getting a fresh set of downs because the NFL is a 4-down game, while the Canadian Football League is only a 3-down game. So you have an extra down in the NFL. When you're in the lead and you've got a 40-second runoff clock between plays in the National Football League, you've got an extra down and an extra 40 seconds on every set of downs that you get to run off the clock. It's ridiculous. The Ravens just kept getting fresh sets of downs and they kept just eating up the clock. That to me is not fun. That's not a fair way of playing a game. Now don't get me wrong, the Ravens won that game fair and square. And I'm not saying this because I'm a butthurt Seahawks fan. I'm just saying this from the perspective of that I feel that it's ridiculous how much clock time a team can eat up just by getting a fresh set of downs every time. Now, obviously, it's up to the opposing team to stop this team from continuing to get first downs and fresh sets of downs to run off 40 seconds per play. That's true too, obviously. But I don't think it's fair how you can just run 2+ minutes per set of downs off of the game clock. I think at the most, the NFL's play clock should be 25 seconds per play. That's plenty enough. And what I would do is in the situation where it gets to the 2-minute warning of the fourth quarter, if a team has a lead of more than, or has a lead of 5, or has a 5-score lead or more, then at the 2-minute warning, the stop clock should run up to 40 seconds so that the two teams can just run the clock out and end the game. When a lead is that big, a team is not coming back. Now, I would have it set up so that if the other team does have a situation where they score a touchdown and it's no longer a 5-score plus lead anymore, it's more like just a 4-score lead, then you would still have the clock go back down to 25 seconds between plays. That's how I would do it. Keep it consistent. But the reason I would extend it to 40 seconds during the 2-minute warning under that situation is because, you're going to have players on the other team being really pissed off, and they're not going to play just to play the game anymore. They're not going to care about, a lot of times they don't care about penalties as much when they're losing 49-7, for example. You see players get mad all the time when they're getting absolutely obliterated in a game and they want to start playing dirty and start trying to injure the other players, and that's not right. That's why I say that at the 2-minute warning of the fourth quarter, if there's a 5-score lead or more, then increase the play clock to 40 seconds per play in that 2-minute warning, and then allow the winning team to quickly run out the game to prevent injuries and to prevent more problems and conflict. I think that's a good thing. But during gameplay, that pisses me off how much time a team on an offensive possession, or who has possession of the ball, can eat off the clock during an NFL game. Now, obviously, if your team is winning, it's beneficial, but to me, it's not right. That's not right. You should actually have to run the ball and actually try to score and let the other team have a chance. That, to me, is more fair. You know, the NFL also has these overtime rules, which I did not mention when I filmed this video the first time. I don't like the NFL's overtime rules, where the first team to have possession, if they score a touchdown, the game's over. No, whether you score a touchdown or not, the other team should have a chance to match. If they can't match it, then the game is over. That's the way that I think it should be. I mean, at the bare minimum, that's what I think it should be. I mean, during the NFL playoffs, or during the playoffs in general, I think you should play an entire quarter. And the team with the most points at the end of said quarter wins. That's how I look at it. Or if a team has a 3-score lead or something, then the game should be called and be done. I'm just saying, their overtime rules need to be amended to at least allow the other team to have a chance to have possession, even if the first possession leads to a touchdown. And, you know, the whole play clock thing too. There's one more thing I forgot to mention that I need to mention to make sure that this video is as close to the last one as possible, that I deleted by accident, that I did not intend to delete. And it's this. One thing I absolutely hate about the National Football League is that a team could be up by a single point at the 2-minute warning of the fourth quarter of the game, and because they have a fresh set of downs and the other team doesn't have any timeouts, they can just start taking knees and run the game out. I'm sorry, but that is not fair. That to me is ridiculous. Whether you're benefiting from it or not, sorry. There's 2 minutes left on that clock. The other team should have a chance at possession of the ball. That's why I'm saying at the most, there should be a 25-second play clock under regular circumstances, unless there's an extraordinary lead of 5 scores or more at the 2-minute warning of the game in the fourth quarter. I mean, to me, it's ridiculous. A 25-second clock. Let's see. So a minute 40, minute 35, minute 10, okay, 45. So the other team would still have 20 seconds and a chance to actually get the ball down the field and win the game. Now, another thing too, in the Canadian Football League, the clock doesn't just keep running down like it does in the NFL during its 2-minute warning. That's a difference between the CFL and the NFL. The CFL has a 3-minute warning. The NFL has a 2-minute warning at the end of every half. I don't like how fast the clock moves in the 2-minute warning in the NFL. In the Canadian Football League, it moves a lot slower. And teams don't take victory formations until there's like less than 30 seconds left in a game. I think that's more fair. I mean, if you're hoping for your team to win, it's more stressful, but at the end of the day, I feel it's more fair. Like in the NFL, I mean, I think that with a 25-second play clock, it would be a lot more fair. Because then you're not just getting a fresh set of 4 downs and killing over 2 minutes per possession or per set of downs. To me, that's not right. Now, obviously, it's up to the other team under the current rules to stop them, and that's true too. Like in the Seahawks case this past Sunday, they did not stop the Ravens. The Ravens were the better team. Their offense was way better. Their quarterback, Lamar Jackson, was really good. Not only did he play excellently, but he had protection. Not only that, the Ravens' defense was exceptional on Sunday, in my opinion. They shut the Seahawks offense down. And that's Seattle's fault. And this, by the way, I want you Ravens fans out there, if you are watching this video, to know I'm not trying to take away from your victory. You guys won that game fair and square, and as far as I'm concerned, you deserved it. Seattle absolutely did not deserve to win. Baltimore did. That was Baltimore's game, and they won it fair and square, and they deserved it. So, but the thing is when I see a team just get the ball and just run so much time off the clock per set of downs that they have, especially in a four-down game compared to just a three-down game here in Canada, there's more time that gets eaten off the clock. So, in my opinion, I think the NFL needs to lower their play clocks to 25 seconds tops. I think that's more than enough. And if you keep getting possession and keep getting fresh sets of downs and killing 25 plus seconds off per down, I think that's more than plenty. That's plenty enough. And you know what? If it's not enough time, get to the end zone, fix your offense, and score more touchdowns and score more field goals. It's that simple, at least as far as I'm concerned. Now, the other thing I want to talk about briefly, too, the Baltimore Ravens and the Seattle Seahawks uniforms. Obviously, my channel's about uniforms, eh? So, in the Ravens case, I like the simplicity of their uniforms overall, but I do not like their number font. And I also do not like the amount of metallic gold on their jerseys. I think that the metallic gold looks absolutely horrendous on their jerseys. I also hate their number font, and I'd like to see both of those things go. On top of that, let's see, what was I going to say? Okay, so in the Ravens uniform situation, I also don't really like their logo. I think it's too 1990s over-detailed for me. I'd like to see the Ravens clean up their logo. I like the overall shape and appearance of the logo. I don't like the B in it, and I don't like the purple raven. I think they should take the B out of the logo, get rid of the purple, and just have a black raven. Same raven, just in black without the B inside it. I think it would look a lot better. Not only that, if the Ravens would just fix their numbers on their jerseys, I think that would also be a big upgrade and ditch the metallic gold. Now, do I want to see a Nike redesign for the Ravens? No. All I want to see is a change to their number font and remove the metallic gold accents too. Oh, God. The Ravens uniforms, The simplicity of the jersey itself, in my opinion, is still good to this day. I also don't like their patch on the sleeves of their jerseys either. That Maryland state flag inspired patch, I believe it is. I don't like that either. I'd like to see the Ravens get rid of that too. And I know I may be in the minority on that, and I understand that, but remember, these are my thoughts. I don't expect you all to agree, and I'm very sorry for not mentioning it earlier that this would be a podcast-style video. I will put that in the description below, and if I don't have it in the description, remind me, please. We don't want to have any more issues with people thinking that there's going to be visuals in a video that doesn't have any at all. I don't want to do that anymore, and I still feel bad about that one video I did recently where I had that really nice thumbnail, but there was no visuals, and people were asking me, where's your visuals? There's no visuals. The screen's black. It's because I did it as a podcast-style video. And clearly, I made a very, very poor judgment call, and that's on me. And I don't want to repeat that here. So I just want to quickly do one more thing that I did not do the first time I filmed this video because this comment wasn't made. But I want to acknowledge my one subscriber and viewer, Jeremy. Jeremy, I am very grateful and very happy to hear that you like this idea of weekly videos every Sunday. So I know this one's being uploaded now. It'll be on a Wednesday, and that's fine with me. And I know this is much longer in length than the last one. But in this case, I'm just glad that I'm actually getting this video done and fixing it and getting it re-uploaded, which I had to do a second time, thanks to YouTube making me think that there was a second extra video to get rid of because it had an uploading error. God, it's so stupid. I I wouldn't have had to spend an additional 35 minutes of my life refilming this damn thing if it wasn't for that stupid failed upload thing coming up. When it didn't fail at all. I thought it was an extra video. And that YouTube uploaded it twice. And there was a glitch. Thanks. Jesus Christ. And I'll quickly acknowledge another subscriber of mine while I'm at it, since I've talked for this long anyway. The Weedus Heat 96. I agree with you. I am sick of these double ads in between videos, at the end of videos. And by the way, the little yellow thing that shows you when an ad's going to come up, you don't even see that anymore. They've decided to hide it. YouTube, we love your platform. Stop ruining it. You could be so much better. We want you to leave it alone because we love your site. We all do. It's the best video website on the internet. It's the best video sharing website on the internet. Let's keep it that way. Come on, YouTube. Fix this. If there's a video that is a half an hour or 20 minutes or more in length, yes, have an advertisement in the middle of the video if you want. That's fair. But for short videos like 3 to 10 minutes in length, sometimes I'm getting ads at the beginning and 2 times in the middle and at the end. That's too much. And I understand that, YouTube's got bills to pay too. But you know what? There's got to be a better way. For sure. But anyways, back to everything I talked about. I'd like to see the kickoff rules and the punt rules fixed in the NFL. I'd like to see them also fix the overtime rules. And I'd also like to see them lower the stoppage time, or the clock time between, or the play clock, to 25 seconds instead of 40 seconds. And only allow a 40-second play clock at the 2-minute warning of the fourth quarter if a team has a 5-score lead or more, to prevent dirty hits and dirty plays and to prevent injuries, hopefully. And also, the Ravens need to fix their number font and get rid of the metallic gold accents and tweak their logo too. And I forgot Seattle. Although Seattle has a very modern style of uniform design, it's a design that I've been able to live with. It's actually been a collegiate design that I've actually felt hasn't been that bad. But the thing is I would like to see Seattle eventually, at the bare minimum, bring out a royal blue throwback. And dear NFL, that's another thing. Please get rid of the one helmet rule. Thanks to that rule, there's been so many gorgeous throwbacks like the Dallas Cowboys 60s throwbacks that we don't get to see anymore. God, what a stupid rule that is too. I mean, that pisses me off as well. And I guess I'm going to have to add that into my next segment coming up this coming Sunday. And I will. Please do remind me if I forget. I will acknowledge that in one of the next upcoming 2 videos as well. The one helmet rule. And I'll try and remember that for this coming Sunday. And hopefully I won't forget. But anyways, if you guys like this idea of a weekly video series or a weekly Sunday musings type video where I just share some reflections and thoughts about stuff over the past week since my last video in this roundup thing, if you like the idea of me doing that, please let me know. If you guys find that this is something you want to see, and if I find that it's well received by you guys, then we will definitely pursue this going forward. And I plan to adopt it full-time to the best of my ability. And as I say that, though, I can't guarantee that I'm always going to be able to sit down and film this every single week. But I will do my best, that's for sure. So anyways, guys, I've been talking for 40 minutes, unlike my last one, which was about 25 minutes in length. I'm sorry if this video is so much longer, and it's 40 minutes in length. I know it's a long video, but let me tell you, I wanted to re-upload this. I wanted to talk about this stuff, and actually, ironically, there's some things that I got to mention in this video that I didn't mention the first time around, and I'm actually glad that I mentioned them. So anyways, guys, it's been basically 40 minutes, and my phone's running out of battery life anyway. So guys, this will be a wrap for this video. Please let me know what you think about everything in this video if you've watched it all the way through. And until my next video, and until the second video in this trial run thing that I'm doing, take care. And of course, as always, you guys, bye for now.